Hello there, YouTube and my fellow drunkards. This may be the last installment in this video. I'm really not sure. If you've gone through the videos, 1 through 5, I think I'm up to now, and up to this video, then there's no need to recap on what I talked about. You can find the rest of these videos by going to Facebook and typing in "From One Drunk to Another to God," and it should bring you to a page that the rest of the videos are on. Again, that's "From One Drunk to Another to God." I've talked a little bit in the previous videos about why we're drunks, how we got that way, where does it come from, at least in my perceptions that I've gained over years of study, the Bible, the Book of Enoch, and other sources as well, brings me to this knowledge that drinking and drugs are in fact a spiritual problem. They're not a physical problem. As long as we keep telling ourselves it's a physical problem, we have no chance of ever getting off the booze and the drugs. Until we admit to ourselves that God is our higher power, that He is the sole Savior from not only the drugs and alcohol, but all the terrible things in our life, sadness, depression, that all of it is a spiritual problem. And until we come to that knowledge, we can't get outside help. And we've done proven to ourselves over the years and years and years that we are not strong enough ourselves, have we not? So I think we need to come to that point of view in order to be able to be helped by God. And until we come to that point of view, sure, we may quit a month, we may quit a year, we may quit 10 years. But if God's not the reason that you quit, if He's not the power that pulled you out of the depths of the hell that is drugs and booze and mind-altering drugs, be they legal or not legal, if He's not that power, then your own power is almost sure to fade. I say almost sure, it is sure to fade. Why should you personally consider not drinking? I ask you to consider this. I ask you to consider that everything you think and know about drinking now is a lie. And it's a lie perpetuated by yourself because your flesh wants you to be a drunk. Life is so much better when you're unaltered. Though you sure as hell couldn't tell that by the first year that you quit drinking or doing your dope. Because your flesh will constantly be a defender of booze and alcohol, constantly talking to you by way of notion, by way of inner thought, by way of the disturbance of your peace. This self will constantly be a champion for altering your mind, because self has a relationship with these spirits, and self does not want to live without these spirits. Until God becomes your strength, those spirits become your flesh's strength. Until God becomes your belief, those spirits are in fact your flesh's belief. And your flesh, without anything else to put in the void, in the vacuum of the addiction, is frightened and weak and keeps denying you the truth. So, come to God first. Come to God in a way that you haven't come before. Come to God in a way that you come naked to God. And that means strip away your clothing, strip away everything that you consider to be your vesture, strip away everything that you've considered to be your righteous acts. The Bible refers to robes as righteous acts, and the whole naked thing is brought up many times in the Bible. And it's a likeness for what you have on, what the knowledges you have, the belief systems that you have. I suggest, if you're thinking about quitting drinking, Strip away all that you know. Strip away that which you think is righteous and that which you think is good. Strip away that which you think is bad. Come to Him naked. Let Him clothe you. Let Him clothe you with new knowledges, with things that will make sense to you and your heart. Ask Him to do that, won't you? I'm sure if you do, then things will start to make sense to you. With that being said, I'm also sure you're thinking that your life's not too bad now that you got your drinking in a manageable position. I'm also sure that you think that you've got it under control because you can maintain a job, you got a nice house, you're making your car payments, and in your mind that keeps you from being a drunk. It's not so. The only thing that you're really truly here to do in this world, it ain't to make car payments, it ain't to get a nice house, it's not to make yourself happy in this earthly state. You are here to rise above this earthly state. No matter how happy you can make yourself or you can think that you are in this world, you're still a wretch. Christ told you that. You're still a miserable wretch. You think you're doing well, but you're not. And the sad truth is, until we get off the mind-altering boozes and drugs, we're never going to see how wonderful life can be without it. For me, it was a matter of study. I read every night the Bible while I was a drunk. I remember getting emotional in certain areas and to the point of tears when I would read of certain parts of the Bible and remember how proud I was at how in love I was with God, how close I felt to God. And the whole time looking back on it, I was just a whining, crying, pitiful state. Think back when you were a little kid. Did anybody ever cry on you drunk? Your mom or your dad ever break down because of the miserableness they were when they were drunk and maybe going through divorce or whatever? You remember how that felt with you being a little kid, somebody crying while they were drunk, the stink of booze and the unawkward easiness of, or uneasiness, I should say, of the whole drunk thing in contact with you. How that must feel to God when we come to Him drunk with our minds altered and opened to spirits. The world does not deny that booze is spirits. It's on the labels. Should you deny that booze is the opening to spirits? Should you have other spirits in you while you're in the company of the Spirit of God? If you're studying and seeking God, should you bring along other spirits along for the ride? If you were going to pick up a date to go to a dance, and if you brought along 2 or 3 other girls with you, would that be right? Dance with the one that brung you. And the Lord brung you here to try to save you. You can't really gain anything by accompanying other spirits other than the Spirit of God. That Holy Spirit that beseeches you and helps you and tries to get you out of the muck of drunkenness. Now, with all that being said about the actual physical drink and altered spirits thing, know this, that drunkenness and booze and drugs is a likeness for the spiritual state we find ourselves in. Even without ever taking a drop of alcohol, you can still be spiritually drunk. And some of the same problems that you're having now with flesh drinking, with physical booze, you're also mirroring or paralleling in the spirit. The Bible talks about us being in a drunken state all the time. In many cases, it's referring to the spiritual drunken state as well as both spiritual and alcohol. Chances are, if you're drinking and partaking of alcohol, which are other spirits in the flesh life, you are also drinking and taking in other spirits spiritually. Your life could be a wreck and you could never know it. You'll never know it until you stop. Or you might be hitting some pretty low points, and you might understand and know you've lost some jobs, you've lost some marriages, you've lost the love and the respect of some children. You might know you need this change and just not fully understand why or the depth of it. And I guess I made these videos in an attempt to let you know that you aren't the only one thinking about drinking not being as acceptable and as wonderful as the world is making it out to be. It's okay not to be a drunk. Okay, this video is up to 10 minutes already. And like I said, this may be the last video in the series, but I'm going to continue making videos confronting other aspects of drinking and how drinking coincides or refuses to coincide with the spirit, how they don't go together. But this will probably be the last in this video. If you sit through these videos, I thank you for taking a listen. And I know many of the things I said is hard to take. And then I understand that completely, because when these notions all first came to me, they were very hard to take. And it was very hard to peel away those onion skins so I could get to the truth, the center of that onion, of years and years of misteachings and so forth that I had ingrained into myself. But again, I ask you, are you doing so well that you can afford to not look another way? Are you so happy in this life now that you can say, hey, I'm okay with the amount I drink, I'm okay with taking in booze, I'm okay with the once in a while fights I get into with the people I love? Are you okay with that? Really, truly? Can you sit there and picture and imagine Christ himself drinking booze, getting in fights with the people he loves, behaving recklessly, not getting up to go to work in the morning, which was him preaching or teaching people? If you can't see Christ doing that and being a drunk or drinking booze, and as far as I know, I can remember no place where Christ talked about drinking wine, though he did make it for a party. I remember even at the Last Supper, he refused to drink it then and said he'll drink it anew. I can't believe that anything that you can imagine Christ doing or not doing does not pertain to you and how you should behave as a Christian. If you can't imagine Christ doing something because it doesn't feel right or doesn't feel holy, then chances are you shouldn't be doing it yourself. So that being said, thank you for watching these videos. I hope you got something out of them. And even if you didn't, I hope you keep thinking about some of the things that was said on these videos that might make some difference somewhere in your theology about drinking and your spiritual walk with God. Okay, people, thank you for watching this video. And that's it. Adios.